If leadership is all about influence, and I truly believe it is, then leadership is also about being able to connect with people any place, anytime, even if they don't look like you. Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And one of the things that I find fascinating is the number of people who, as leaders, only want to focus on a group of people who look, think, and act just like them. Lockstep is what a lot of people would call it, when everybody around you looks, thinks, and acts just like you. Another word for it might be an echo chamber, when everyone around you looks, thinks, and acts just like you. But to be able to surround yourself with people who don't look like you, they don't think like you, they don't act like you, they don't maybe even believe like you, and still have an intelligent, compassionate, understanding, maybe even deeply intellectual, and maybe even, dare I say, controversial conversation, that, my friends, is the opportunity to build influence. Now, building influence is not an easy task. Building influence requires that you be willing to set aside your own beliefs for a moment and listen. Building influence requires that you be willing to take the shots when you're wrong and admit it. To say, you know what? I hadn't really thought about it that way. I'm willing to reconsider my opinion. Maybe, just maybe, I hadn't really thought that through, or maybe I didn't have all the information necessary to make the assessment, to have the opinion that I have right now. Maybe my previous experiences, my previous relationships, maybe they influenced the decision that I've made, the opinion that I hold. Now, that's not to say that your education and your understanding of life, your experiences in life, haven't already informed the way you think and the way you feel about certain people, places, and things, about certain relationships, political ideas or ideologies or worldviews or business practices. But it is to say that there is a chance, as slim as it might be, that what you currently understand, what you currently know, that has been messed with, has been tainted, has been intentionally manipulated. Someone has gotten into the ointment, so to speak, a fly in the ointment, and given you thoughts and ideologies and worldviews that, well, maybe you hold them as your own right now, but if you really analyze them, you would think, why did I come to that conclusion? Was that conclusion kind of hand-fed to me on a silver platter, or do I really think, believe, and want to conduct my life like that? See, there are a lot of people today who find themselves wrapped up in a worldview that if they analyze the worldview, this particular group of people they belong to, and I don't care which worldview you're talking about. If you're talking about a religious worldview, a particular religion that you adhere to, a political worldview, a particular party that you adhere to, a business type of worldview, a particular way of doing business that you adhere to, that there are many people wrapped up in those ideologies, and they believe they came to those conclusions on their own, but really it was the manipulation of choice. See, when there are really 12 choices and someone only gives you 3 of the 12 options available, and you make your decision based on one of those 3, the other 9 are not even considered. Being able to be a person of influence requires that at some point in your life, you open the door to these other potential ideologies, that you open your own opinion to be able to say, maybe all along, I've been living on the 3 alternatives that were given to me, and I've ruled out the 9 because I never knew they were options. I never knew I could decide like that, and so I decided against that. See, one of the habits that I have, my wife, after 26 and a half years together, now is starting to, I won't say get used to it, but kind of, I don't know, almost expect it. And that is that I tend to talk to absolute strangers. Yes, absolute strangers. It doesn't matter if I'm DJing a wedding or shooting video or photos at a wedding or just out in the public Yesterday it was Whataburger. Wandered up on a couple that I'd never seen before. I had no idea who they were and started a conversation with them. And over the course of about 20, maybe 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes in Whataburger, we had a deep, enlightening, revelation kind of a conversation. This is a guy who works as a top-level executive in a global company. He has spent 30 plus years in the military. He's traveled around the world. He and his wife have been married more than 30 years, and they have 4 kids scattered around the globe. And as we talked, it was amazing. Although they look absolutely nothing like us, we had so much in common. It was incredible. But see, it's really easy to dismiss the potential of having something in common with someone who doesn't look like you, especially when not all the options are on the table for your ability to understand or comprehend. Sometimes you got to step out of the box and say, well, they don't look like me. They don't think like me. They don't drive the same kind of car as me. They obviously don't dress like me. They probably don't even have the same kind of neighborhood. Ironically, we found out that this strange couple, and by strange I only mean they were strangers to us at the moment, are actually moving into our neighborhood only blocks from our house. And so we said, we'll have to have you over probably for a holiday or a coffee or something, just to hang out and spend some time with you guys, because you guys are really cool. See, that's how you build influence. And I'm not bragging on myself. I'm just saying the people that I've watched who've built influence around the world have been the people who are willing to get out of their box and go, I'm not like you, but I do like you. We don't look the same, think the same, act the same, believe the same, but I could learn from you, and I'm willing to teach you. That, my friends, is how you build influence. Not just in your echo chamber, not just in your comfort zone, but sometimes you've got to get out of the comfort zone, get out of your echo chamber, stop listening to the people who already think like you, begin to learn and listen to people who don't think like you, and maybe even share the wisdom you have, the experiences you've had with people who've never known there were 9 more options that have been hidden from them. Take the time as a leader today. Step out of your box. Reach out and have a communication with someone that you've never had a communication with before. I don't care if it's a network meeting or the post office or the bank or just passing somebody on the streets. Say hi. Ask them how their day is. And here's the secret. Genuinely care about the answer they give you. That's my challenge for you as a leader today. If you want to continue to build influence, continue to build your leadership, take the time to get out of your box, get out of your echo chamber, stop listening only to people who think and sound and look just like you. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.